Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of News 22. I'm Gaglione.
And I'm Danny Fountain.
For the first time in 17 years, the government has shut down. As of October 1st, all non-essential government offices have been closed. The shutdown is the result of a disagreement between House Republicans and Senate Democrats over the controversial Affordable Care Act. The Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, is a universal health care system that is currently being adopted by states throughout the union. Since Congress cannot reach an agreement on whether or not to fund the ACA in the federal budget, the government has shut down until an agreement can be made.
A 12-year-old girl in Stanford has been charged with disorderly conduct on Tuesday for bullying one of her female classmates at a Stanford private school. Lieutenant Deirdre Hahn said the bullying elevated to such an intense level that the 13-year-old was contemplating suicide. The girl's arrest has drawn more attention to the nationwide issue of bullying in schools. Hahn warned all students that this type of behavior will not be tolerated.
The cruel, dog-hating Disney villain we all love to hate is getting her own movie. Disney is planning a new live-action film about none other than Cruella de Vil. This isn't the first evil villain to get her shine on the big screen. Maleficent from Disney's Sleeping Beauty, played by Angelina Jolie, will be making her debut on the big screen in summer of 2014. These evil ladies are finally getting the attention they've always desired. From the success of the two spin-off movies of Snow White in 2012, Mirror Mirror and Snow White and the Huntsman, I'm sure Cruella and Maleficent will do just fine in the box office.
And we'll be right back with this week's editorial right after this short break.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
I got no pulse, so losing.
He's in beef.
Shocking. Drives it road all the time. Just had a few drinks. This can't be happening.
Are we clear?
Clear. We're just buzzed. Just buzzed? You didn't tell us that, sir. You're right. This isn't happening. He'll be fine.
I feel good.
Really? No, not really.
Buzz driving.
Clear.
Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Shocking.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone. But you're not alone. At iava.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. iava.org. We've got your back.
And we're back with this week's editorial.
Good evening, I'm Shelby Akers for this week's editorial. For many of us, success is measured by schooling, athletic performance, musical ability, academic excellence. Even for me, I base my success on how well I apply myself in certain criteria, so to say. But why does this all matter? Why are we so focused on obtaining this type of success when it won't be remembered or even acknowledged after we've passed? Okay, so not to say that everything I've done thus far isn't worth it. I'm where I am today and who I am today because of what I have accomplished academically. I'm more educated, more informed, and more social because of schooling. But think about it. Are we living our eulogy or our resume? This is the question that Huffington Post writer Ariana Huffington asked readers in one of her most recent editorial topics. I read the article and stared at my computer screen for about 5 minutes in awe. I was like, this is life. This makes sense, and this is what matters. Think about it. Our whole lives we're taught to make money, to go to class, and to buy a car, to get good grades, raise a family, work 9 to 5. Even if we don't have those things, we're still being measured by some tangible scale of success. What happens in between those moments? Those random acts of kindness, when you share your last jelly bean with your best friend, when you blew off a class to go to the hospital because your mom had just undergone surgery, when you picked up an old man's change he dropped. He could have easily gotten himself. Our moral judgment, our kindness towards others, our passions, our desires, that's what matters, guys, because the minute your heart stops beating, that resume you've built up doesn't matter. What you do in life, no matter what you do, you're ultimately writing your eulogy. How do you want to be remembered? I don't think anybody would want to be remembered by how punctual they were to class, or how they always had an extra pencil, or how they attended that meeting on September 22nd and gave that above average report on business sales. I'm graduating next year. What do I want to leave behind? Do I want to be remembered as somebody who studied and got all their work done? Or do I want to be remembered as a free spirit, open to new ideas, helpful, encouraging, and a little nutty sometimes? When somebody speaks of a past loved one, they speak about all the times nobody ever hears about the time that grandma taught them how to make Swedish meatballs just right, about how their father, though erratic and loud, knew how to tell the best bedtime stories, about the time mom drove to school to pick you up and take you to go get ice cream because you were having a bad day. Like, this is life, man. That's what matters. That is what you remember. When we die, the meaning of success changes as people gather around our burial to say their last goodbyes. No weeping coworker is going to walk by and say, he always had his PowerPoint prepared, his shoes were always shine. No, they'll say, Jesus, Jim was crazy. He could party with the best of them, but he was the nicest, caring father to his son I'd ever seen. Even people who don't know you will remember you for reasons other than what you did in your academic career. They'll say she was always humble, he always had a smile on his face, or she was always learning, she loved to explore. It's not the acts themselves, it's the thought and the character. It's what you show to people. It's what you reveal that makes you important. None of us should be measured by what we can do for ourselves, but how we can help other people, what made us weird or a bit off. Those are things people remember. People remember passion and drive, what got you to where you are because of who you are. We're writing our own afterlives, guys, not our resumes. A eulogy exposes somebody to the true heart of a person, to the real nature of who they were. A person is not remembered by business suits and ties or PowerPoints and sales. They're remembered for the small things, the moral judgments and kind gestures. They're remembered for their quirks, for the tiniest little idiosyncrasies. It's all part of us, and that is what should measure our success. Not papers, charts, graphs, or reports. Us. We as people. How we treat ourselves and others, and what we do when nobody's looking. I know this isn't about anything tangible, but that's exactly my point. I'm not talking about politics, what happened in Syria, what happened to the government shutdown, the new healthcare policy. Shove it aside. It's all minuscule. What do you want to be remembered for, guys? Ask yourself. Am I living a resume, living inside a squared-off box that has already set my level of success? Go beyond, live free, and be bold. Live your afterlife. I sound crazy, and I sound out there, but maybe that's what I want to be remembered for. That's all for this week's editorial. I'm Shelby Akers for News 22.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until the secret that will make you smile.
Reliable sources say that chicken soup has
Has found their way out of this dangerous, but it would be safe to keep your distance until they are returned.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family.
go to discovertheforest.org.
It's one of the many ways to fight osteoarthritis pain. For more information on managing pain, go to fightarthritispain.org.
Friday, October 4th from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., Eastern students will be fundraising for the charity Adopt a Family. The purpose of this event is to raise money to adopt 3 local underprivileged families. The money will go toward buying gifts and food for the holiday season. This event will take place in Webb Hall. If you have any questions, contact Chris Ambrosio.
On Friday, September 27th, first-year students in visual storytelling classes went to the Wadsworth Atheneum in Hartford. They had a guided tour in the morning and took a look at several works that told a story through visual representation. One example was The Lady of Shalott, painted by William Holman Hunt, which told a story of a cursed lady and her unfortunate death. Afterwards, students were able to explore the museum on their own. They were able to look at a wide range of pieces from European art to contemporary art.
The Akers Gallery here at Eastern Connecticut State University is home to many unique pieces of art. The gallery takes pride in holding several different receptions and discussions each year to showcase their collection. The overall objective of the Akers Gallery is to establish a collection of art from around the world and to display it on Eastern's campus to enjoy. We caught up with the Akers Gallery assistant to learn more about the current and future exhibitions.
Currently on exhibition at the Akers Gallery, we are showcasing the works of Carol Brooks, an abstract artist whose reception was 2 weeks ago, and Carol got to come in and tell everybody a little bit about why and how she made the pieces. In about 2 weeks, on October 24th, we will be moving on to our next exhibition, which will showcase the oil paintings of Maurice Shapiro, who is actually a Connecticut native.
Be sure to stop by the Akers Gallery before October 7th to see the incredible lineup of sculptures created by Carol Brooks.
Also on October 9th, Eastern will present Rita Schiarelli and Wally Lamb at 7 p.m. in the Betty Tinton Room located in the Student Center. Rita Schiarelli is known throughout Canada as the goddess of blues, and Norwich native Wally Lamb is the best-selling author of novels such as She's Come Undone and I Know This Much Is True. Schiarelli and Lamb's presentation will include a viewing of the film Music from the Big House, followed by a musical performance by Schiarelli. Tickets for the show will cost $10. You can reserve tickets by emailing tickets@easternct.edu.
ECSU kicks off its fall semester with the annual pep rally where the ECSU dance team performed. On September 26th, students gathered to watch as the ECSU dance team performed their first choreographed dance of the year, which included freshmen and returning members. We caught up with captains Danae Reale and Haley Wolverton to talk about their goals for the team's upcoming season.
We have a really strong team this year, and we look forward to performing at basketball games and performing at UDA in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, this is our first year going to UDA and Disney, and we really hope to place nationally, and we're going to work really hard to get there.
Would like to wish the dance team the best, and we hope to hear success stories from their team this season. The ECSU dance team will be performing at all home basketball games in the ECSU gymnasium for the upcoming season.
In Eastern News, on Wednesday, October 9th at 3 p.m. in the Student Center Theater, a veteran of the Civil Rights Movement will speak as a part of the University Hour here at ECSU. Mr. Lafayette was handpicked to be the late Martin Luther King Jr.'s deputy during the Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s. He is mainly noticed for his non-violent protests for peace, human rights, and equality during the time. Lafayette will lecture Reaching Beyond Your Grasp during his time here at Eastern.
Last Friday, Eastern students took a walk on the wild side with Animal Adventures. Students got to interact with exotic animals in the Betty Tipton Room as part of CAB's Fall Fest. News 22 reporter Megan Saunders explored the program.
Hi, I'm Megan Saunders reporting from the Student Center, and today I'm not the only wild thing in here. CAB has brought an animal expert to show us some of his animals that he's rescued. Let's go take a look. Friday, in the Betty Tipton Room in the Student Center, CAB invited the Massachusetts-based animal education facility Animal Adventures to Eastern Connecticut State University. The program featured 10 different animals varying in species. Some of the animals that were featured were a lemur, a boa constrictor, and even a kangaroo. Students were able to interact with each animal, while the owner and founder of Animal Adventures, Ed Lakidara, explained each animal's characteristics and how they got into the program. All the animals featured in the show have been rescued from inadequate homes. We were able to speak to Ed Lakidara about how they take in animals.
We had monkeys growing up, so I just kind of got used to it, being around all these animals. I had an obsession with alligators and crocodiles, and I went to school off and on, and got invited to take different classes and courses, and just got to work with all these animals. And then we just kind of had the reputation, hey, we have a sick animal, we know where you can bring it, and just kind of snowballed from there.
Things certainly got wild here at this animal adventure in the Student Center today. Reporting from outside the BTR, I'm Megan Saunders for News 22.
Thanks, Megan. For more CAB events, check out the online calendar of events.
TV 22 member Megan Saunders will be going around Eastern once a week to see what's going on in her segment, What Up Eastern? This week, she emulates a popular YouTube video, Hey You, What Are You Listening To? By Tyler Cullen in New York City. She scoured Eastern for music lovers to ask them, hey, what are you listening to?
I've been walking around campus today looking for all of you music lovers out there, here to pose the question, hey you, what are you listening to? Hey, excuse me, what are you listening to?
Meek Mill, The Plug.
Oh, thank you.
Good day.
What are you listening to?
I'm listening to All Me by Drake. It's off his new Nothing Was the Same album.
Oh, great, thank you.
No problem.
What are you listening to?
I'm listening to the Goo Goo Dolls.
What's on?
Black Balloon.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
What are you listening to? What's on?
Slim Shady. I mean, real Slim Shady.
Great, thank you. What are you listening to?
Mac Miller right now.
What's on?
G's, featuring Schoolboy Q.
Thank you.
No problem.
What are you listening to?
Country music.
What song?
Drunk Last Night by Eli Young Band.
Oh, great, thank you.
Oh.
Listening to? What song? Thank you. The hardest part about this whole thing is trying to get people to not be afraid of the camera. Like everyone veers away. Am I that scary? What are you listening to? No? No? All right. Well, that was awkward. I guess sound canceling headphones do work. What are you listening to right now?
A song.
What song?
Meek Mill.
What song?
Get This Money.
Thank you. And don't forget to tune in next week to see what else is up at Eastern. I'm Meg Saunders for News 22.
Thanks, Megan. Tune in next week to see what else is up at Eastern.
And we'll be back with this week's sports after this short break.
Good job.
Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Come on.
How you feel? How you feel?
I'm feeling good. Spin me, spin me.
Got you.
Oh, goodness.
Today is a special day. Today we gather as a nation and as an international community to recognize the selfless decision of one of the most influential women of our time. She's been recognized by religious figures and politicians around the world. To us, she's just Rachel. But to the rest of the world, she is the woman who, after having one too many drinks, chose not to drive home buzzed. Here today to honor Rachel is the family whose lives she spared.
And we're back with this week's sports.
The Eastern Connecticut field hockey team tied school history on Tuesday with their 5-1 victory over Fitchburg State. The 5 goals tied their record of most goals scored against an LEC team in school history. The victory was an essential one as it halted a 5-game matchup losing streak for the Warriors against Fitchburg. Sophomore Hannah Kaiser has been on a hot streak and has scored 2 goals. She has scored 9 goals on the year out of 10 games. Also scoring for the Warriors was forward Morgan Ozeki, midfielder Paige Schneider, and midfielder Finley Ahern. The Warriors take on Plymouth State at noon at the Mansfield Outdoor Complex. On Saturday, September 21st, Eastern's women's field hockey team took on the University of Southern Maine. Both teams entered the game after coming off of a 2-game losing streak. The game was deadlocked and scoreless in the first half as both teams vied for the upper hand. At minute 15, Maine broke through Eastern's defense and managed to score a goal. The Warriors rallied and fired back, scoring a goal shortly thereafter. With time running out in the first half, senior midfielder Morgan Ozeki gave the Warriors the lead with her first shot of the game and first goal of the season. Eastern goalie Olivia Mullen maintained the advantage that her teammates had earned by blocking 14 shots taken by USM. With Mullen's excellent goalkeeping, coupled with Eastern's strong defense, kept Maine at bay for the rest of the second half. The final score of the game was 3-1 Warriors. This past Saturday, the Eastern women's volleyball team went head-to-head with Keene State in the Geisler Gymnasium. The Warriors fought hard in the second game of the match with a final score of 30-28 Keene. Unfortunately, Keene came out on top, winning all 3 games of the match. We caught up with head coach Peter Mania to hear his thoughts on the game.
We had our second league match against Keene State, one of the best teams in our league. They came in second in the finals last year. Tough match. We went 3, and in the second set we actually lost 30-28, having 4 chances to serve for set point, and weren't successful. But we played them hard, and I felt good afterwards.
This weekend, the team will be hosting the annual Crabtree Classic in the gymnasium. Be sure to go out and show your support. It was another victory for the men's soccer team on Wednesday as they defeated St. Joseph's College 3-0. The Warriors have now moved from 10th to 7th place in the NCAA New England rankings and have posted their 5th straight shutout. Freshman goalie Greg Walton was the LEC's goalie of the week, and he has been nothing short of amazing in the net. The Warriors face 3 upcoming road games and face the University of Massachusetts Boston on Saturday at Nevers Field. The Eastern women's soccer team snapped a 3-game losing streak on Tuesday night, defeating Connecticut College 2-1. Freshman forward Haley Lenning scored both goals and now has 3 goals on the year. With 18 minutes left, Lenning scored the go-ahead goal that ended up winning Eastern the game. It was Eastern's first home game in a little over a month, and they host the University of Massachusetts Boston on Saturday at 3 o'clock at the Mansfield Sports Complex. It's been a rough beginning of the new season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, their record standing at 0-4. It hasn't looked any better for the New York Giants. Big Blue is still winless heading into a big matchup with the Eagles on Sunday. The Patriots look great thus far, posting a 4-0 record heading into the weekend. That's all for sports. I'm Tyler Smith for News 22.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see any of our past shows, go to tv22.blip.tv. I'm Allie Gaglione.
And I'm Danny Fountain. Have a good night.